Is AI coming for your job? Should people even bother getting an education or a college education anymore? My name is Ekon Kalsamisho, and this is the Restoration Economics YouTube channel. I wanted to talk a little bit today about AI and the labor market. AI burst on the scene a few years ago. We call it artificial intelligence, but it's not intelligent at all. It's just a mimicry. It's algorithms mimicking human speech. So throughout this video, rather than using the term AI, I'm going to be using the term large language model, LLM, because that more accurately describes some of the threats that we're seeing when it comes to jobs and work. So recently, Gizmodo, who's one of my favorite kind of technology newsletters, had an article about how CEOs are quietly telling us the truth. AI is replacing you. And in the article, they talk about some things that different technology leaders are saying, publicly, privately, that because of AI, they're going to need fewer people. Amazon's Andy Jason, we will need fewer people. Duolingo's Louis Von Ahn, headcount will only be given if AI can't do the job. Why can't AI do it? And this kind of existential threat that if the economy shifted from, we used to be in the United States, especially, and in the industrial world, it was manufacturing. That's what created wealth for people and quote unquote the ownership class. And then as manufacturing left, kind of the richer, more Western countries migrated east and south, knowledge workers became kind of the more premier workers. What they earned was higher and better. Service workers became kind of a much lower paid group of people, and we saw the middle class shrink over that time. So now that we're in an era where these large language models can mimic human speech and sound human, a lot more human than they've ever been able to do with computer programs. The question is, what's going to happen to the role of the knowledge worker in the age of large language models, especially since there's so much investment. Right now there is no consciousness behind these models. I mean, people talk about them, sounding smart, and it's kind of because they are just really good mimickers. I want to share another article with you that I read a little over a year ago, and it's called Chat GPT is Bullshit. And I would highly recommend you reading this article. It was written by Michael Townsend Hicks and James Humphreys and Joe Slater. And they really just said that large language models just parrot us. They're just mirrors. They're very good at mirroring us. And, we all have those friends who, don't know what they're talking about, but they can bullshit their way through a situation, because there's two aspects to human communication. One is, does it sound pleasing? And the other one is there something substantive behind it, right? The sort of noise to signal ratio, signal being something of substance, something interesting, something that sparks me, where I learn, or my understanding of reality changes because of the interaction. And then noise is just like, it's chatter, it's birds tweeting, just saying, hey, the day is fine today, but there's nothing of substance in it. And large language models are really good at mimicking and mirroring that kind of low-level social interaction. And what we're seeing with the rise of large language models is that people are under the illusion that these are somehow master databases that have absorbed all human knowledge, understand what you want, and can give it to you. But it's not true. And what the technology companies are really masking is that there is no consciousness behind the large language models. And so they hallucinate. In the absence of data, they make things up. They bullshit. They invent things. So there's news stories out there about how lawyers have been submitting briefs to the courts with completely made up cases that don't exist anywhere because they're using large language models as if the large language models were this complete area of expertise and data consolidation and know everything. And I've had different interactions with friends of mine who are using ChatGPT in this way, where they think it knows everything and it's just going to give you an answer, and then they end up with false information. And I won't give the examples out of respect for their privacy, but they're pretty egregious examples. And it's because we're in this illusion that the large language model is somehow a sentient database of all knowledge, and it's just not. Now, there are people like Mark Zuckerberg, you know, with Meta, who are spending outrageous amounts of money to hire the most advanced AI experts, because that's what they want to get to. They want to get to the database of all knowledge that actually contextualizes and can give you an answer. They're looking for human level intelligence or superhuman level intelligence within, these large language models and other kind of algorithmic based systems, but they're not there yet. And the problem of hallucination is very real. And it begs the question, are we ready to live in a world where actual data is optional, where it doesn't matter if what you're saying is factual or not, as long as it sounds good? Are we really ready to move into an era where bullshit and hallucination are the primary skills and human expertise is valued less? So I want to talk about this from two perspectives. And the first perspective is that I've seen technology hype come and go over the course of my life. And whenever new technology is introduced, it's always a big thing, and it never lives up to its promise. So lean in to you being an expert. That's the first thing. As a human being, your brain is capable of far more than a computer. Computers can crunch data faster than we can. But in terms of interconnectedness, contextualizing, intuitive leaps, insight, dreaming, imagining the future, caring, ethics, communication, computers are nowhere near a human level. So you developing communication skills, you developing intuitive, creative capacity, you developing your expertise is the road to opportunity and excellence in your life. I believe that deeply, that everyone has the capacity to become an expert at something, and it is in that expertise that we provide value to ourselves, to our community, and where we provide value, prosperity is attracted back to us. The second thing to understand is that we really have to challenge the notion of what it means to be productive and efficient as a society. When I was I think I was like 12 or something, or 11, when desktops, for the regular person kind of came on the scene. And I remember listening to this news show, and a congressman was talking about how amazing desktop computers were going to be because they were going to improve efficiency and make life better. So people would only have to work 25 hours a week instead of 40 hours a week, and we'd have so much extra leisure time. Now, anyone who's lived through, the technology revolution of these last decades has learned that technology might have had the potential to do that, but society didn't make choices to share the efficiency of technology with everyone, okay? So rather than everybody getting to earn a good salary and work 25 hours a week, which is the promise of technological efficiency, what really happened is you had fewer workers working much harder, and the profit and benefits of technology have all accumulated with kind of what's become a technological aristocratic class, right? The tech billionaires. So we could have structured the conversation differently. We could have structured labor laws differently. That advances in technology would result in shorter work days, shorter work weeks, and was spread throughout society so that people had more leisure time, more time to be with their families, more time to be creative. And, you would do your 20 to 30 hour a week job because you had all these great technology tools, and then you would have a much richer, fuller life. But instead, consciously or unconsciously, the choices were made that all those productivity efficiencies should result in fewer jobs, the people who were left being more insecure and having to work harder, and all of the profit going to a much smaller group of people. And I think that as we look at this advent of the age of large language models and other algorithmic based kind of imitators of human thought and human creativity, we're about to enter that same domain where CEOs are going to use language like increased productivity and efficiencies. And what they're really saying is all technological efficiency should go to the owner class, the technological aristocrats. All productivity benefits should go one direction, which is up, instead of technology benefits being spread across everyone. The other conversations we could be having is how do large language models now make a 4-day work week more realistic? 4-day work weeks, no pay and cut and benefits. Everybody, has more leisure time, has a higher quality of life. And there is no inherent reason that technological efficiency should be, consolidated and benefiting one small group of people. I mean, this is just, we as a society make social contracts with each other. We can either live in the era of everybody killing each other and defending their territory, or we create social contracts to exchange with each other and get along with each other. And even from the time I was 12, like I'm in my 50s now, so this has been going on for more than 40 years. We have never actually shifted the conversation about technological advancement to how it benefits everybody. The only way it's benefited people is if you are a consumer of technology products. The only conversation about benefit has been, oh, here's a cool new gadget you can buy. But we haven't talked about how technological efficiency can give everybody a higher quality of life, and how the profit that comes from that just doesn't go one direction into a small group of hands who keep amassing more and more wealth that they could never possibly spend in their lifetime or invest in their lifetime, frankly. But that how do we have it be balanced? And I'm not saying there shouldn't be more profit for the ownership. Folks, I get that we live in that society, but I'm saying that it can't just be one way. So the reason I'm sharing all this with you is that how you think about these things and how you talk about these things impact the future. How you think and how you talk creates the future. So if you are a knowledge worker and you're watching the rise of large language models and other, algorithmic tools that mimic and mirror human speech or human creativity, fear that I'm going to lose my job is one response. Anchoring into the reality that these tools are nowhere near human intelligence, human sophistication, and human expertise. When we develop our mind, right? When we choose to develop our mind, these tools can't match that. And the conversation needs to be, how do these leaps in productivity benefit everybody? Not AI is coming, I lose my job, but if we're going to integrate AI tools, everybody needs to go to a 4-day work week or a 3.5-day work week, and we all stay and we keep earning the same money we've always earned. And there is nothing going on except a battle of ideas. The ownership class has no inherent right to exploit absolutely everything they can from every natural resource and every human being and keep it all to themselves. It's just an idea, and it's an idea you don't have to buy into. There needs to be ratio. There needs to be distribution. The benefits need to go to everybody. And how do we talk about, think about dialogue and negotiate for the benefits going to everyone. So I wanted to put these thoughts out there because how you think about this moment in time and how you talk about this moment in time, especially if you're in these industries and being affected, will impact the future that gets created. So I hope you've enjoyed listening to this video today. Like the video, subscribe, share it with a friend. I'll just keep doing these kind of videos as we go, offering a view that the economy works best when we are centering profitability along with environmental stewardship, along with human dignity and creativity. Have a great day, and thanks for watching.